Welcome back to another video. In this video we will talk about the theme, structure, and analysis of the poem, Vision and Prayer, by Dylan Thomas. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. Central theme of the poem. It talks about the cyclical nature of life, which is reflected in the repetition of the phrase, "Who is born?" throughout the poem. The poem suggests that birth and death are part of a larger cycle, and that each new life is connected to the lives that came before it. The poem also suggests that death is not an end, but rather a transition to a new form of existence. How many stanzas does the poem have? Vision and Prayer, by Dylan Thomas, has 6 stanzas. Each stanza has 4 lines, and the first line of each stanza is a question, while the following 3 lines are the speaker's thoughts and observations. The poem is written in a unique shape, a rhombus, which is different from the usual rectangular or square shape of a poem. The poem has a consistent rhyme scheme and a lack of punctuation, which is intended to draw the reader's attention to the words and the meaning behind them. Analysis of the poem. Dylan Thomas's poem, Vision and Prayer, is a complex and deeply spiritual work that explores themes of birth, death, and the cyclical nature of life. The poem is written in a typographical style that is lyrical, personal, and spiritual, with a semantic use of space that results from the relationship between the scale and weight of the letters and words. The poem begins with a series of questions that are both existential and deeply personal, asking, "Who is born, in the next room? So loud to my own, that I can hear the womb, opening and the dark run, over the ghost and the dropped sun, behind the wall thin as a wren's bone." These questions set the tone for the rest of the poem, which is a meditation on the nature of life and death. Throughout the poem, Thomas uses vivid and evocative imagery to convey his themes. He describes the dark run of birth, the ghost and the dropped sun that are left behind, and the thin wall that separates life from death. He also uses repetition and alliteration to create a sense of rhythm and musicality, which adds to the poem's spiritual and meditative quality. One of the central themes of the poem is the cyclical nature of life, which is reflected in the repetition of the phrase, "Who is born?" throughout the poem. This repetition suggests that birth and death are part of a larger cycle, and that each new life is connected to the lives that came before it. The poem also suggests that death is not an end, but rather a transition to a new form of existence. Overall, Vision and Prayer is a deeply spiritual and meditative work that explores themes of birth, death, and the cyclical nature of life. Through its use of vivid imagery, repetition, and alliteration, the poem creates a sense of rhythm and musicality that adds to its spiritual quality. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share and subscribe for more such videos. See you in the next one.